So when you come upstairs, you are immediately greeted by Mr. Lumpkins here. He is the keeper of the upstairs because he's too lazy to go downstairs and then come back up. So he likes to stay here until he's sure that you're gonna stay downstairs. This is the upstairs area. These are all my lights. There's a generator 100 road case that the amp came with. There's my Cracky 212 custom cabinet, currently with vintage 30s. There's a Rode NTG2 that I use for all the FAQ Mondays and all the talking bits in the demo videos, the gear videos. Here's some stuff from Dunlop. I'm gonna do a huge wah shootout. I'm gonna chain all the wahs together at Fastback Studios in Seattle and basically go through them, playing different stuff, comparing them, and then providing DIs for those wahs so you can reamp and see how the wah sounds through your own stuff. It's pretty cool. Bunch of cables, mostly Spectraflex stuff. More cables. This is the first camera I ever shot a video on YouTube with. So good old Sony CyberShot. This was amazing at the time because it did 720. I was so excited that I could do HD. Those are empty. How about some strings? I don't have any strings. I got some custom picks from my friends at Dunlop. These are Ultex 1.14s. Lots of strings for lots of guitars, as you'll see in a second. I even got the brand new Heavy series in heavy chord bass strings, which are amazing. Have some pedals here. VFE Focus, one of my favorites. A couple of Maxon overdrives, a torpedo cab, my signature slow fire overdrive from Fastback. Got a couple of pedals from my friends at Dark Glass. And a couple of things from my friends at Dunlop. Got a vintage 74 custom shop, handmade Phase 90, which is super cool. Bass compressor. Here's a 76 Thomas Organ Crybaby wah that I picked up for really cheap on eBay. It sounds incredible. It actually has the TDK inductor as well, the square one, which isn't super desirable, but some of them sound pretty good. This nails the J. Cantrell dirt tone. Dirt wah tone, I should say. Limited edition Jimi Hendrix wah pedal, which sounds incredible. Very similar to the custom audio electronics wah. Jerry Cantrell wah, Clyde McCoy wah. Bunch of stuff there. Let's just do the guitars. So this is my 77 Gibson RD standard. I wanted a standard specifically because it's not all routed out on the back for the Moog electronics. This is a very, very special guitar. Not only sentimentally, but tone-wise as well. Even if you don't like the body shape, everyone who comes over and plays this thing immediately looks up and goes, holy crap. This thing just resonates as if it was one piece of wood, probably because it's been together for over 30 years. It's all maple. You would expect it to be really, really bright. It's not at all. It has this insane mid-range punch and low end, and it's just amazing. Signature Fastback beard combers are in it. Beard comber unshavens, and what an incredible guitar. If the house is on fire, this is the one I would grab. I also have two Les Paul traditionals. They're both tobacco burst. I think all Les Pauls should be tobacco burst myself, but one's lighter, one's darker. This is Patty, and this is Selma. Both of them had my old Imperial pickups in it. This one I got from the wife for our anniversary and my kind of a birthday present. This is the 2012. This is very, very heavy. This is about 9.6 pounds, and the other one's about 9 pounds. And this has a lot of low-end thump, whereas the other one has a lot of mid-range and a lot of cut and less low-end than this. Patty is a fantastic sounding lady. Selma's the one I took to NAMM because I like the neck. That has a massive, massive neck, and I really like that. And it's just a really pretty guitar. I also have a Gibson LPJ with a maple neck. Everyone seems to think this is a chapper's guitar when it's behind me on FAQ Mondays leaning on a cab. It's not. It is a 2014 LPJ with an exposed maple neck. All of the LPJs had maple necks. Not a lot of people know that. This one's a maple necked one as well, but it's painted over so you would know. Lace dissonant aggressors in it. Let's see, you got a couple of SGs. This has a Mojo Tone sledgehammer pickup in it, and I left it in there because I loved it so much. An amazing sounding guitar. This is just another SGJ with, I added a pickguard to it because I was bored. These are fastback beard combers in this guitar. This is a brand new guitar I just got 2 days ago. This is a 60s tribute Gibson SG that my friends at Dial Tone sent up to me. This is going to be a test bed for some Dial Tone pickups that are not out yet. Currently, if you don't know what Dial Tone pickups are, they're these guys. And you can adjust the Q and the amount of gain in each pickup. It's kind of like a fixed wah, but not. You can really just dial in and fix the mid-range as you so choose on the pickup itself. It's super cool, and yeah, it's a really good concept and they sound really good. Yeah, this is gonna go down to them for testing. And let's see, what else? The guitar that started it all, this is a 2009 Schecter ATX Blackjack Solo 6. I frantically called Drum City Guitarland in the Midwest and said, please, do you have that last one in stock? It was the only one I could find on the entire internet when I was finally had the money and living out of a barn. I said, yeah, sure, so I bought it. This is a baritone 26.5-inch scale Blackjack SLS EX from Schecter. Got the Evertune on it because in stock form, the neck would go all sorts of, every time I would stop playing, the neck would get cold and then it would uniformly detune itself, which was just a nightmare. It's pretty beat up at this point, but I love it. This is an 88 Ibanez Roadstar RG140. I've never seen another one with just a single volume and two humbuckers. Usually it's a humbucker, single coil when you do see them. These were only made in 87 and 88. I got this at from a friend who got it at a pawn shop for $75 in 1987. It's great. This is a brand new Mexican jazz bass with a DiMarzio P-set pickups in it. It's probably my favorite bass right now. You guys have seen the Schecter P Custom. And this is a cheap Sterling sub bass. Still a great sounding bass. I put a lace pickup in it, which improved it greatly. This is actually one of my favorite basses. This is a Jaguar bass. It's a Squier, and it plays unbelievably. And especially after I put a P and a J set from Fastback in it, it just really woke up the bass and really sounds incredible. It's really punchy. First thing you'll notice in the studio is the treatment. The treatment was from Vicoustic USA. They're based in Seattle. And these may look the same as the bass traps, but the bass traps obviously filter the low frequencies. If I remember correctly, it's from 120 down. And these filter from the mid and highs. So, and if it doesn't absorb, it's reflecting away from the listener. I'll be making a separate video about the room treatment process. This is my 95 Fender Strat, 94, 95, with a lace Billy Corgan approved set. The red, silver, and blue, which is super cool. I've gigged the crap out of this guitar. It smells funny and I love it. This is a Randall Century 170 head, the Dimebag Darrell head. Now the Dimebag Darrell used to use the Century 200, which the only difference is This has a shared EQ for each channel, and the 200 has separate EQ for each channel, but it's the same circuit. And sounds really, really incredible. This is a Revolt Plexenstein. This is a true Plexi front end and a JCM 800 on the power amp section, which sounds really cool. The only thing I don't like about this amp is the master volume is on the back, because he wanted to keep the front true to an original Plexi, which is a non-master volume head. But you can still jumper the inputs and it sounds amazing. This is a Mojitone 800 clone that they built for me with an extra gain stage, so it's slightly modded from the stock one you can buy in a kit. Sounds wonderful. I really like it a lot. This is a DV Mark 412 cab with vintage 30s in it currently. I've had this since the dawn of time, since DV Mark originally gave it to me. This is a early 90s, late 80s, early 90s Mesa Boogie 50 cal. This is the amp that you hear on the first Down record, Down Nola, as well as Corrosion and Conformity with Pepper Keenan. This was his favorite amp back then. Maxon ST9 Pro overdrive. This is a modified 2-channel 1995 dual rectifier. This is modified by Will from Third Age Amps, and it has his Thunk mod, and it tightens the low end, and it's a serial loop mod, and bias mod, and bright caps that you can switch on and off. It's very, very cool. One of my favorite sounding rectifiers I've ever had. This is a Rhodes Gemini. This is one of the last amps to be branded as Rhodes before Kyle changed the name to KSR, but you can still buy these, and they are one of the finest amps made by man, in my opinion, and just absolutely huge sounding. If you want to hear this amp, basically this tone, it's you can hear the new Unearth record, Watchers of Rule. That's this amp, the whole thing, this amp. It's amazing. Next up is the Rev Generator. These guys are out of Canada. Amazing, amazing amp. They sent this to me for the demo, hence the road case that you saw earlier, and I said, you can't have it back. How about I send you money instead? And I bought it. And it sounds incredible. I'm going to be using this for a bunch of stuff later. And then last on the shelf is the Third Age 9.2 from Will. Third Age, who also modified the dual rectifier. It's a very Soldano-y, crunchy amp. Sounds really, really nice. The vintage and modern voicings are very, very usable. And I've used this for a lot of reamping stuff. Next up is the Panama Inferno. I'm working with Panama quite a bit recently. I'm giving them some ideas for some amps, and they're just bouncing a lot of ideas off of me, which is cool, and they wanted to know what I thought of the Inferno. So this is the first one, and it sounds wonderful, and I'll be working on a video for this shortly. Bonamasawa, Decimator, noise gate, MXR carbon copy, obviously, Korg tuner, earplugs. This is a very worn in and gigged Marshall 1960 cabinet with the stock Slush and 75s, and the cabinet sounds incredible. It's a lot of low end, which isn't typical of a lot of the Marshalls that I played and had. So got this in a trade for the Dragoon 212 that I used to have, and it's been lovely. Let's see, here's my two cameras. These are Canon T3Is. This is my main lens. It's a really wide angle. It's 11 to 16 millimeter. And this is an ultrasonic 50 millimeter. This is not the plastic Fantastic. This is the one above that, which is actual glass and stuff, not plastic. This is where my GoPro usually is that I have strapped onto my head. This is a reamping box, which I don't really use anymore because now I have the Torpedo Reload. My Kemper, obviously. Let's see, there's just stuff. Lav mics, stands, batteries, microphones, Audio-Technica ATM 250DE, which is a dual microphone, 2 mics in one. Favorite mic, Heil PR30, a couple of 57s, Sennheiser E609. For the rack, start with the top. This is a Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40. Monitors go out to the central station, and it splits in both monitors that we'll talk about in a second. Then we have the 2 Notes Torpedo Live, and I have an extra space here because I'm about to get the Torpedo Studio, which is the big brother of the Live, so that's going to be coming out. I have the tuner, which goes into the R&R Sound SL/LD preamp. This is like a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, 2-channel, and a preamp. Sansamp RBI for all my bass tones. It's a legendary unit, and it just sounds fantastic straight into the interface. I also have a Personas studio channel and a Personas VXP. This VXP is from the late 90s, and it was really made for vocals in mind, but you can use it for anything, obviously. And it has replaceable op amps, which is why I got it. You can still get these on eBay for about 150 bucks. And it's back when Personas made really, really good stuff. This patch bay is not being used, it's gonna come out. Obviously the microphone inputs for the preamps and the power. Pretty simple. These are Sony MDR 7506. These are a classic, been around since the early 80s, and this is what I use to check all my mixes on. Fantastic headphone. So I already talked about the Torpedo Live, or the Torpedo Reload, Kemper. So I have 2 sets of monitors. Right now I have, the smaller guys are the Neumann KH120s. They're a very, very nice monitor. They're very, very accurate. And the reason why I got the shorter rack as opposed to the taller rack that I used to have is I wanted to lower the rack so I could put 2 larger speakers next to the Neumanns to check the low end and see what my low end were doing. These JBLs go down to 32 Hertz, and the Neumanns only go down to 52. Tannoy monitors just contacted me a few days ago, and they want to send me their version of the JBLs, which are the Reveal 802s, which are forward front ported from the bass ports like the Neumanns are, which is nice because currently these are rear firing and the bass, it shoots out towards the wall, which isn't ideal. Here's the controller for the central station. And here's the Personas fader port, which is currently not working like a lot of Persona stuff seems to suddenly do. Just USB hub, my phone. Let's see. This is my Ben Wyman signature guitar. This is from the very first run. I used to work at Evertune, and they sent this to me to kind of do a video on it, and I said you can't have it back, and so I bought it from them. I loved it so much. This is one of my best recording guitars I have. It just sounds incredible, and I put some EMG 5766 pickups in it. And this is from the first run, like I mentioned. ESP was not sure that these would sell at all, so they actually, since I worked at Evertune and they had to order the bridges from us, they only ordered 25 or 30 of these, and that was the first run. It was about 30 of these guitars, so you couldn't find them really on launch because they instantly sold out. Really, really nice guitar. This is my Jerry Cantrell G&L Rampage. This is just the import model with a fastback beard comber in it. I've often thought about getting the American version to see how much better it is, because this one isn't that great. It's pretty thin sounding no matter what I do. Tried replacing the electronics, pickups, everything. It's just nah. But it was a B stock as well, so that may have something to do with it. Anyway, short, sweet. That's my room, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next year for another tour.